What's up, and welcome to another edition of the Cover 2 Recap. I'm Edward Lewis, publisher of BruinsSportsport.com. He's Joey Kaufman, the new OC Register beat writer. And Joey, again, not a whole lot of news and notes today, but the first day in full pads, a lot of 11-on-11s, a lot of good plays, got big hits, big interceptions, everything. But before we get into all those, I want to talk quarterback battle. That's what everybody wants to know about. Today was Jerry Neuheisel and Ashanti Woolard's day. Didn't think Ashanti had the greatest day at quarterback. Jerry looked okay. What do you think of the two?
I mean, everybody wants to talk about quarterbacks. Jerry looked okay at times. He had one really nice fade route in the corner, which went for a touchdown. Ashanti had some trouble. He kind of held on to the ball a little too long. He had one pass which was picked off in the end zone by Jaleel Wadood, and he had another one was picked off in the flats. He had too many interceptions. I feel like he needs to get the ball out a little quicker.
I thought Josh Rosen played a little bit of 7-on-7. Again, to me, in my opinion, looked like the best quarterback out there. I know he didn't get a whole lot of 11-on-11 reps. He did throw a pick, again, in 7-on-7s. But just like I said, the way the ball flies off his hands, the way he's able to move his feet in the pocket, I mean, he just does everything you would want in a starting quarterback. And I think we're going to start to see some separation here pretty soon. I know Jim Morris said they're going to do this 2 and 2 every single day here for another couple days, but eventually it's going to get into, we're going to see some separation. Do you feel like Rosen's kind of the guy at this point, though?
Maybe not yet, but every practice you see one or two throws where he makes, like today he made a post corner route and hit the guy really nicely, about a 20-yard throw, and you see that and go, okay, here's why this guy comes in with all the accolades. But then he'll have a couple other throws which will remind you that, okay, he's a freshman. But in 2 or 3 weeks, he's got a really good chance to be that guy.
Let's get into top performers. You've had one. Jaleel Wadood had a heck of a day. Tell me why.
Well, he had the one really nice pick in the end zone of Ashanti's pass where it was hung a little too late, but he kind of came over from. He's playing center field, and he comes over and makes a really nice interception. But he's really active there in the secondary. He's the guy to look out for.
One of my top performers was Eddie Vanderdoes, the defensive lineman. He's starting to get in good shape, and really that bull rush is killer. He had one play where he busted through line of scrimmage, and poor Roosevelt Davis was, the blocking back in the backfield, and he just ran him over for a would-be sack. And he's looking great out here. In one-on-ones, he took a couple of guards down and made a couple sacks in one-on-ones. Thought he had a heck of a day. You like Nate Starks, your other top performer. Was that?
Yeah, I'm encouraged by him. He had a really he took a play, it was just kind of a regular old handoff, and he took it kind of up the middle for a nice run. But he's a guy to look out for. Coach Morris said afterwards that he's kind of solidified himself as that number 2 back, which will be a nice kind of, I think, change of pace. You have Paul Perkins, who had over 200 carries last year, but with a new quarterback, you really want kind of a nice stable of running backs there. So I think if Nate Starks can really be that number 2 guy, that's going to really bolster their backfield.
I thought a lot of the inside linebackers played well today. Kenny Young, Jayon Brown, but the one that really stood out was obviously Miles Jack. I know I hate to put him on top performers here because everybody knows he's Heisman Trophy candidate and all that, but but the way he's able to make tackles from sideline to sideline, and in one-on-ones he's going up against guys like Thomas Duarte and Mossy Johnson and covering guys better than some of the safeties and corners on this team. I think he had a couple pass breakups, a couple tackles for loss, made a couple big hits, were oohing and on from the parking lot. So, I mean, anybody else kind of popped to you today? Were there anybody else that – I know you like Paul Perkins a little bit too, right?
Yeah, he had another long touchdown run. The running backs in general, the running game I thought was good. Simon Goins is another guy who's coming off some leg injuries, but he's out there moving a little bit. I think that's an encouraging thing. Another thing Coach Moore touched on afterwards was just the line depth. I mean, they're too deep. I think that's probably encouraging for them.
That'll wrap up our third day of UCLA spring ball coverage out here at Spalding Field. You can follow Joey's coverage of UCLA on Twitter at Joey R. Kaufman. You can follow me on Twitter at Edward_Lewis. Until the next time, thanks for tuning in to the Cover 2 Recap.